This is Happy Half Hour, a Peoria Life web show brought to you by Enjoy Peoria. Hello and welcome to Happy Half Hour. On this week's show, we sit down with Jeremy Draper from Draper Glass and talk about her studio and what's going on with the art of glass blowing. Next, we'll talk with our friends at 5 Point Washington and hear about a great event they've got coming up this weekend. And of course, we'll fill your free time with some awesome events that are coming up. So sit back, relax, and stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Happy Half Hour.
Hey, do you like coupons? Do you like discounts? Do you like saving money? Then check out the 2018-2019 Enjoy Peoria coupon book. It is filled with a ton of coupons from area attractions, restaurants, stores, and more. And the book is free. Mind blown. Stop by our office to pick up your book now or check them out on our website, enjoypeoria.com.
Get some friends together for a fun game of bubble soccer. Yes, bubble soccer with Knockerball Peoria. What is bubble soccer? It's just like regular soccer, except you're inside an inflatable ball that allows you to roll, flip, and bounce into each other. Sounds fun, right? Knockerball also has other rental options, including foot darts and action archery. Do you want to find out more about what's going on in the Peoria area? Well, check us out at enjoypeoria.com. Welcome back to Happy Half Hour. One of my favorite parts of the Peoria art scene is that a lot of the studios allow those of us who might not be quite so artistically talented really get to experience their art. One of my favorites is Draper Glass. If you've never seen how glass is blown, you have to check out Draper's studio. Joining us to talk more about the studio today is Jeremy Draper. Jeremy, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So, glass blowing. What got you interested in it?
Glass blowing, I saw it at Southern Illinois in Carbondale, where I was a biology major, and I had to walk past the glass studio to get to my classes.
Okay.
And I was completely mesmerized by what was happening in that hot shop. And I would watch the graduate students work, and I absolutely was mesmerized by it. And so I signed up for a class, and then the next year, I entered the program.
Awesome. I think it's interesting that you were a science major because there's such a science to this art of glass blowing.
There is such a science, absolutely. The chemistry is very fascinating of the glass.
Speaking of, actually, I know Andrew stopped in the studio earlier this week and got some great video of you making a piece. And just, if you haven't seen molten hot glass before, it's so fascinating. Can you tell me a little bit about what's happening right now in the video?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Well, one quality of the glass that I love is it's called an amorphous form. So if it were to break, you could technically melt it back down to its original state of matter, as opposed to ceramics. Once that gets fired, you can't add water and knead it back to a material, right? So I thought that was very alluring. And so the glass blowing here, we're making a clear bubble vase that is a traditional kind of Roman form here with the widened neck and shoulders, and then a little bubble for the bottom of the base. And it really takes a team of glassmakers to make it happen. So there's multiple times where the heat isn't right or the tension is wrong and you drop and break a piece. So practice, just like with every material, is imperative.
Well, that's amazing. Just to watch that little ball become something so beautiful. So how long have you been blowing glass?
I've been blowing glass for about 20 years. So 20 years ago, this year was the first time that I took my first gather out of the furnace. That's
awesome.
When you collect that
Happy
blob.
anniversary.
Yeah, thank you. And so it's my 6th year full-time in business, but I'll be coming upon my 10-year anniversary on when I first started the business.
That's
so
amazing.
So 6 years this summer is full time for me.
That's amazing. So the video's over, and you actually brought the celebrity glass with you.
I did bring it.
That's
Here
pretty
it
awesome
is.
to see.
So this is really sweet. I wanted to show these little bits because it's, like I said, the glass is so mesmerizing and so soft that this was applied when the vessel was done, but still hot. And it's just a record on how soft and malleable that glass is. You can really do anything with it. And this was something that I actually saw in Italy, and I was absolutely fascinated by how soft their glass is. So I was saying earlier that they keep the glass just as hot as we do, but whatever secretive ingredient that they have in their pot of furnace allows that glass to maintain that heat longer than ours before we have to go and reheat the glass. So this was a fun little challenge for me, and we put a little gold on there. So inspired by all the gold leaf and the patterns of the ancient Maranese glass.
It's beautiful, and it's funny that I have a friend whose family's Italian, and they've got their secret spaghetti sauce recipes that they'll never share.
Oh,
they're just
yeah.
very tight with all their secrets. They know what they're doing, and they won't
The
let
glass
us know.
blowers on the island, I mean, just the fact that it's an island and they have small little tons of colored glass that, when I was over there for the conference, they shared a lot of secrets with us, but they did not share their secret recipe of their glass. And I think that's absolutely fine. And that's what keeps it so lush and primitive and alluring as well.
And keeps, obviously, the American glass blowers coming back for more.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing.
And I didn't really know how the glass blowers over in Italy were going to take 2,000 glass blowers from around the world coming to see their trade, but they welcomed us with open arms, so that was really refreshing.
That's amazing. Yeah. So where do you blow glass here? Where's your shop located?
So thanks for asking. I blow glass at the studios on Sheridan, and that's near the corner of Main and Sheridan Road, and it's behind the original Running Central, what is now Broken Tree Coffee Shop, and also the Costume Trunk. So that's been around for a while as well.
And your shop's pretty cool because you've got a good space where you can hold quite a few people.
Yeah.
So when what kind of, I guess, seminars or lessons do you do?
Sure. So going into the 6th year of being in business, I saw that there was a need to share my passion of glassmaking with the community. And I'm originally from Pekin, and it's kind of funny because I left for about 10 years, and then I came back, and I have a really cool story about that as well. But I felt like it was my community commitment to give back as an adult, and I thought, well, how can I share this with the community? So we offer monthly free demonstrations every first Friday. Awesome. We're on the first Friday hop that you promote as well, and from 5 to 9 we do demonstrations, and then we also have times where you can set up private demonstrations for groups, churches, Girl Scouts, field trips, continuing education, all sorts of ways. And then if you're really intrigued, then you can try a little hands-on project. And that's going over very well. And we try to streamline a lot of our classes on Saturdays. So it's not uncommon if we offer anywhere from 2 to 6 different projects on a given Saturday.
And you do some really cool make and take classes. You do around Christmas, you do the ornaments, you do sun catchers. Around Valentine's Day, was it hearts?
We did hearts, and then something new, we did these smooch bowls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where we blew a bubble, and then you get to sip the air out of half of it, and it becomes a double-walled bowl.
Very cool.
So like a chips and salsa ball or something for your jewelry.
So, such a fun experience. Just to get to experience it and learn how to do this, but then to have a beautiful piece to take home with you.
Absolutely. So when people come into my studio, I want people to feel like they're welcomed and they don't have to know anything about the material because it's really so foreign and, people haven't seen it. Mm-hmm. So I just want people to understand that that we're there to share this passion that we have with this hot, gooey, molten material that is a blob of glass when it comes out of the tank. And then, you know, if you want to do something hands-on, we're right by your side. You get to feel how soft it is. You get to dip in the color. You get to melt it in. You get to pinch and cut and tweeze it and really feel how soft and elastic that glass can be.
That's awesome. That's got to be kind of addicting too. I bet you have some repeat customers coming back for different
Absolutely. Yes, they keep us sharp. We're constantly coming up with new projects. And something that we're working really hard for coming up is our pumpkin season. So you mentioned the seasonal offerings, and the pumpkin by far is big. So not only my line of work, but offering different styles of pumpkins. And we've got a couple new offerings.
Oh, yeah?
And we'll be launching it August 1st, next week. And we're going to do a miniature solid pumpkin, which is like a paperweight, which we've done that. That's by far the most popular. And then we've got something called the graveyard pumpkin, where we're going to, it's the most visually interesting technique that we have in the studio, where you get to roll into shards of glass. So it's going to be all the broken pieces from the last year, and you get to roll through the graveyard of shards.
That's awesome.
And make a pumpkin with that. And then we have another one that Brandy Fissler, she's the studio coordinator, she is going to be making gourds, and she's going to teach gourd for this year. So we're excited for that. And then we also have a fancy marini, where it's the little slices. I know,
fancy marini.
A fancy marini pumpkin. So this is where you take, so if you imagine a jelly roll, the spiral on a jelly roll, right? So we have basically our loaf of hot glass that's colored, and we stretch it long, and when you cut it up and lay it on the cross section, that inside reveals a pattern. So we have spiders and bats and hearts and dragonflies. We have all sorts of different patterns on these inside. So you'll either get to choose from a plate of already assembled marini. This translates to thousands of flowers in Italian. So all these little chips that are traditionally flowers, but we've got all sorts of patterns. And then we have, that's one class, and then you have another class where you get to assemble all of hundreds of marini. You get to choose from thousands of marinis for your hundreds of marinis, and then we'll roll that onto the hot clear glass and blow it, and those patterns will expand and be the color for your pumpkin.
Well, that sounds amazing.
It's fun. You should come in.
Oh,
and do it.
you sold me. I'm coming for sure. So with your pumpkins, I think it's also pretty cool. I mean, how many do you make a year to take to different festivals and events?
We're at about 800 right now.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So you're making these now.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
It's really hot out.
It's really hot.
How do you do that in the studio when it's already so hot outside?
Yeah, so you're catching me at the middle of my workday. This is kind of like a lunchtime for me. So I'm getting up at like 5, and so are my assistants. And coming to the studio, we're lighting up, taking advantage of the nice cool weather that the morning brings. And by about 11 o'clock, we're done blowing glass.
Yeah.
So then after that, it's all business and paperwork and computer.
The less fun.
Yeah, the less fun
aspects
stuff of glass blowing. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So yes, yeah.
So I know you're up to your ears in pumpkins. What else are you working on? Any other big projects right now?
Well, I have a commission that I'm working on, and I'm not quite ready to announce it yet. So it hasn't been unveiled to the customer. So
something big
So I'm
and
keeping
exciting.
it kind of quiet. It's only within the company, and then staff and I right now. But it will be released later this fall.
Fantastic.
So stay tuned for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what else? What else is coming up next in the studio?
Well, besides our pumpkin lessons, we're also giving people the opportunity to book private lessons and family outings. So we reserve Saturday nights for groups of like 6 to 12 or more for families and groups to come in. Fall is the best time to come in and visit us in the studio. So that's what we've got going on there.
Very cool.
Yep, and then we'll be over at the Morton Pumpkin Festival, and then I'll be up in Lisle at the Morton Arboretum in the middle of October.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then it's on time for Christmas ornaments.
Yeah, time for ornaments.
As soon as you're done, on to the next
Yep,
one.
we go until the middle of March. Yep.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks so much for joining us today, Jeremy.
Yeah.
If you want to find out more about how to get involved, how to sign up for a lesson, or just to stop in and check out a demonstration, you can visit her at jdraperglass.com. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Happy Half Hour.
Get out your calendars, we're about to fill your free time. The Central Illinois Farm Heritage Tractor Club will have various types of antique tractors on display at the Wheels of Time Museum, July 22nd and 26th. Later, watch as the tractors make their way to Princeville for the Summer Harvest Antique Tractors and Equipment Show, which runs the 27th and 28th. You will be able to check out these displays as well as enjoy food and demonstrations. Head over to enjoypeoria.com for more information. Head out to Chillicothe July 26th for the Chillicothe Corn Boil. Enjoy all-you-can-eat corn on the cob with your choice of chicken or hot dog, baked beans, chips, and lemonade. This is part of Chillicothe's Downtown Thursdays. Want to learn more? Then check out Chillicothe Downtown Thursdays on Facebook. Celebrate the arts in Tazewell County through 4th Fridays. Tazewell Art Loop. Between May and November, the community is invited to enjoy fun, local experiences in Morton, Tremont, Delavan, and Pekin on the 4th Friday of every month. From 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., artists, businesses, and organizations will be partnering to create a dynamic shopping experience for all. You will enjoy local art, mingle with artists, view featured exhibits and performance demonstrations, hear live music and entertainment, explore local shops and restaurants, and so much more. Party on down at the Peoria Riverfront on July 28th at Fiesta en El Rio. This fiesta features authentic Latin American and Hispanic food, drink, music, and much more. There's even great activities for the kids. Head on over to the Peoria Park District website to learn more. Enjoy great music and food and support a great cause at 5 Point Summer Jam July 28th. There will be a number of great bands throughout the day, including Dexter O'Neill and the Funk Yard, Cousin Eddie, and more. There will also be a number of food trucks offering delicious meals. Money raised will go to the St. Jude runs. Looking for more fun events? Head on over to our website, enjoypeoria.com, or visit us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Enjoy Peoria.
Welcome back to Happy Half Hour. If you're in... Oops, pardon me. Sometimes you need a microphone. There we go. If you're into good music and a good time, 5 Points Washington has the event for this weekend that you can check out. It's called 5 Points Summer Jam, and the best part, it's helping out a great cause, the St. Jude runs that are coming up. Joining us to talk more about Summer Jam are the organizers, Shay Harris from 5 Points Washington and Dominic Lang from the St. Jude Washington to Peoria runs. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with us.
Yeah.
So what is Summer Jam? Just talk about the event a little bit.
Well, Summer Jam was created. Basically, we knew we wanted to do something with an organization, a charity organization, and our first thought was pretty much St. Jude runs, and what better thing to do is bring people outside to celebrate and help provide some fun for St. Jude runners and the people that support it. But we're going to have music outdoors, 4 bands. We have Dexter O'Neill and the Funk Yard, Cousin Eddie, Cowboy Jukebox, and Run Forest Run. And they'll take the stage from 12:30 all the way to about 11 p.m. on Saturday. And then we'll have food trucks, and we'll have a beer tent, and a water station for cooling off. And then there'll be some fun things to do in the high school football stadium from about 12 to 5:30. The Park District is going to do some free family fun games, and then we're also going to have knocker ball there, and that's pay to play as well. But a lot of fun things to do and keep the family busy and
It seems like it's a family-friendly event. It has something for everyone.
It does, yes. And I think with kids through 8th grade, it's free, so that is definitely another family-friendly thing. And but yeah, there's plenty to do. And then we also have a VIP tent. So thanks to MTCO, they're going to provide a big screen TV. So if you want to chill out and enjoy watching maybe a game, you can sit in the lounge area there. We also have Washington Community Bank and Uftring Auto Group providing some fun giveaways. in the tent. So there's a lot of nice things that'll be offered. And the VIP tent, so to get in, there is a separate fee, but all of that will go to St. Jude Runs, and the tickets, there's a portion of the tickets that will go to St. Jude Runs. Any tips at the beer tent will go to St. Jude Runs. So we're really trying to get people to come in and help support the cause. So.
Yeah. Why did you guys decide to group up with the St. Jude Runs to put on this event?
When did we? Or
why did you guys want to, you guys decided to choose a charity and...
Well, first of all, it's just, St. Jude, everybody wants to help that cause, and it touches all of our hearts, and it just was, we were glad that they were willing.
Yeah, and we were super lucky that they came to us with the opportunity. To be able to partner up with 5 Points to put this on has been fantastic. We, in our 11 years of doing the Washington Run, we've had so much support within Washington from the city, administration, the police department, the fire department, and 5 Points. We've, that's really what's helped build this run to the point where it's at now. So.
And Dominic, you said you started the runs, the Washington Run, or working with the Washington Run about 11 years ago, but before that, the Bloomington Run. What made you want to take part in these and organize these and participate in them?
Well, participating, obviously we're raising money for a great thing to be able to help fund the research to find cures for these kids that have cancer and other catastrophic diseases. But the big thing is when we started the Washington Run, there's a few of us that were running with Bloomington Normal, and we were running through Washington, and we really thought we had enough people to be able to get a run going in Washington. And so it's just taken a lot of time. First year we were looking for hoping to get 20 runners to raise $20,000, and we ended up with 44 runners and raised $54,000. And every year we've been able to manage to do better than the year prior to that. And a lot of it is, like I said, because of all this community support that we've had in Washington. We look at it, this is St. Jude Run, but this is really a great Washington event that we're able to get all these runners together, get the support from Washington, and raise a lot of money for St. Jude.
Well, obviously the St. Jude Runs are a big part in helping St. Jude, and this event is a big part in helping the runs. So you mentioned it starts around noon, right?
Right. The gates open at noon. The first band takes the stage at 12:30, but there'll be music playing as people get there. We would just want to allow the crowds to come in and find their spot, maybe if they want to grab some food to start the day off, and then and then Dexter takes the stage, Dexter O'Neill, and I don't know if anyone has, I don't know who hasn't heard Dexter O'Neill in the area, but they will start it off really nice because they get the crowd going and people will be dancing. So
yeah, I feel like most people around here, like they made such a big name for themselves around here, but so have all the other bands. How did you get all of them to come in and be a part of this?
Well, when we planned it, or finally had the commitment to do it, and after speaking with Dominic and getting the approval that we'd love to join, it was a little bit, we were kind of behind the 8 ball, which we were very lucky to get some of the bands that we did. Some of the bands, they have prior commitments later in the day, but they're coming out early, so like Dexter O'Neill for one, but he was happy to do it. And I would just say that again, everybody seems so committed to this organization, St. Jude, and St. Jude Runs, and they were definitely willing participants and jumped on board and said, yeah, absolutely. So it's been great.
Well, that and the food and on all the other activities, it seems like it's a good way to spend an afternoon and night. If you're looking for something fun to do and something to help out. Where can people park? I know it's a big question. I know 5 Points has a lot of parking, and the high school has a lot of parking.
Right, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We have, obviously, it'll be roped off on our south lot. So if you're familiar with 5 Points, that is the lot closest to the fire station, the Washington Fire Station. That's where the event's taking place. But right in front of 5 Points, there's spots to be available. And then across the street, the high school was nice enough to not only let us use the football stadium for fun, they said you're more than welcome to use all of the high school parking lots. So you can use that. And then we do have Central School District behind 5 Points. So if we do need some overflow, I'm sure people can park back there as well.
I'm getting this theme, like the community support, and,
Oh, yeah.
and that's something with anything Washington does. I feel I get that vibe that there's a huge community. Everyone always likes to help out everyone.
Yeah, it was a really
Yeah.
nice group effort. So.
If people want to get more info on the event, like schedule, what's going on, how can people do that? Website, Facebook?
Yep. 5 Points, our 5 Points page, which is www.5pointswashington, it's a big one, .org, so .org, 5pointswashington.org. We have an upcoming events page. So if you go to the menu, just look for the upcoming events, click on that, and then it'll be the first event listed on the page. So it'll give you a rundown of everything. And if you get your tickets before the day of the event, they are cheaper. So right now, if you go online or come to our front desk, the tickets are $20. That kind of just helps us prepare for the event. So we can let our food vendors know, the beer truck. So that kind of gets us a good number of how many people might be coming through the door. Obviously, you can get them at the gates, which that'll be $25. So it is $5 more at the gate, but so we're just encouraging people to go online ahead of time or stop in at 5 Points and get your tickets ahead of time.
Is there anything else we're missing?
No, just we appreciate the support, and we are looking forward to this event. We hope to continue it and make it an annual last cash bash effort for the runners and the run. And
Yeah, I mean, really the cool thing is the timing of it is that we're the Saturday before the Memphis run takes off on Tuesday. So I really see this as kind of a big launch to that week leading up into the St. Jude runs kickoff,
Not only a good, way to raise some money, but it's also a good way to get people pumped up and ready
Yep.
for the runs.
Bring people out, bring some of the runners, their families out for a good time before they take off with Memphis or some of their other runs.
oh, we will have a shout out station. So there will be a station right by the VIP tent. Party Paparazzi of Peoria will have a social media station. And so you can stand in front of it and maybe say some cool things to maybe some of the runners that that are going to be running in it. So give out a good message to them. Maybe someone that that's dealing, has someone, at St. Jude. Maybe you can give them a quick message and brighten their day. So there should be some nice opportunities there for people to give a shout out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Shay, Dominic, thank you guys so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
And
Thank
let
you
us
for
know
having
about
us.
this awesome event. Oh, our
Thanks
pleasure.
for having us.
Stay tuned. More Happy Half Hours next.
The Castaways! This is our own burger! The Yard Peoria is the Midwest's premier indoor training facility. The Yard has over 57,000 square feet of space that you can rent for baseball, softball, football, you name it. The Yard also has batting cages and a full exercise area. Do you want to find out more about what's going on in the Peoria area? Well, check us out at enjoypeoria.com.
PeoriaLife.com